From subtle cues to the final yes. In communication and negotiation, the final yes doesn't occur in a single moment. It's built from a series of subtle cues beforehand. A held gaze, a slight nod, a moment of uninterrupted listening each adds warmth to the agreement. These microsignals are often unspoken, yet they form the underlying language that drives successful dialogue. A yes is not an event, it is the result of a step-by-step journey of emotional affirmation. The power of communication doesn't lie in quick persuasion but in subtly touching emotion before logic responds. In many conversations, people focus on the final yes and forget it is the result of many preceding signals. No one agrees just because of a strong argument, they agree because they feel carried along emotionally. Every nod, sincere glance, and vocal rhythm says, "I hear you, I'm with you." When these subtle signals accumulate, the listener opens up. Persuasion, then, isn't about conquering logic, it's about creating emotional space for trust. We often focus too much on words, forgetting that most communication happens beyond language. A steady gaze, an open-handed gesture, a pause to let the other think, these build trust. When speakers manage pace and space, they offer safety, and in that safety, reason is allowed to work without fear. Thus, persuasion isn't about speaking more, it's about creating space where acceptance can naturally occur. One of the most powerful subtle cues in communication is the pause. When a speaker knows how to stop neither too fast nor too slow, the listener feels respected and has time to internalize the message. A pause is not passive silence, it is space for emotions to settle and become meaning. In negotiation, a nod after a 3-second pause can be more powerful than a flawless speech. Some sentences need not be long or full of logic, but are powerful because they're said at the right moment. A simple phrase like "I sense what you're thinking" or "tell me more," spoken just when the listener hesitates, can shift doubt into trust. People don't first respond to logic, they respond to timed empathy. Persuasion isn't about saying it all, it's about knowing when to say just enough. That's emotional intelligence in action. In intercultural communication, the key isn't speaking well, it's interpreting accurately. A nod in Japan may mean "I'm listening," not necessarily agreement. A pause in France may reflect contemplation, while in the US it might signal lack of engagement. Nonverbal cues have no universal meaning, they depend on the culture decoding them. Thus, in global settings, successful communicators aren't just eloquent, they're context-sensitive readers of the interaction. Not all friendly signals are genuine. In marketing, media, or politics, gestures of friendliness are often engineered to simulate rapport. Prolonged eye contact, timely smiles, repeating names all can be techniques to build quick trust but lack authentic depth. Thus, listeners must stay aware. Is this yes a product of real resonance or a programmed emotional manipulation? A yes isn't a destination, it's a curve of emotion built by dozens of small signals. No persuasion succeeds by logic alone if it lacks listening, empathy, and timing. Effective communication isn't about what we say, it's about what we leave others feeling. So, if you seek agreement, begin by making others feel understood. A yes has never been just the product of logic, it is the result of an emotional journey built through listening, pausing, eye contact, and timely empathy. Persuasion is not technique, it is the art of creating safety for someone to say yes. When we start noticing the small things, we'll see that yes arrives slowly but solidly. In your next conversation, pause for a second. Are you speaking to be right, or to make the other feel understood? Share this with someone in education, business, or psychology, people who work with that final yes. Like if you've ever felt that a single glance mattered more than a sentence. Follow to explore more about the emotional power of communication.